What's going on, YouTube? And welcome back to another episode here at WILDMAN Lives. I'm your host, WILDMAN. Now on today's episode, I'm in the backyard. It's hot, it's humid, but I'm actually excited to be out here because I love working out. It's not a chore for me. So since that's the case, I'm really excited to get started here. And on today's workout, I'm going to be doing the box squat and a bunch of strongman movements in this heat. So it's going to get a really good workout and a really good sweat. And I've been lately talking a lot about training to failure with some of my colleagues, coworkers, and fellow weightlifters. And I have some opinions about that. So you're going to hear about that today. If you don't want to hear about that, you might as well just turn off my channel right now. But please stick around because I think you'll learn a lot and I need the views. So let's pop into today's workout and see what we got going on. Now on today's strength giant set, I was doing the back squat, but I was going down to a box in order to avoid going to full parallel, mainly because my ankle was hurting. I didn't want to put any more pressure on that by going to depth. With those big old wagon wheels on there, just because they look cool and for comedic relief. And as I was going up in weight, I was doing something different by trying a bridge hold, by trying to activate my glutes, my quads, my hamstrings, and my abs. And doing a static hold is something I've never tried before, so I was doing that in between the sets. I was also doing a 1 stone over the shoulder with that 84-pound stone, and then I immediately move over into the monster tire flip for 3. And that was going to be the strength giant set for the day. Now, when people train to failure, which can be in multiple different things, it could be you're weightlifting and you're constantly training until you can't lift any weight anymore. It could also be body weight exercises that you could be doing, or calisthenics, or wrestling, or bodybuilding, where you just absolutely tear your body down until eventually you can't even pick up 1 pound. This is a common trend that I see with people when they go to the gym. And mainly it's because they feel like if they don't leave getting a really good sweat and getting a really good pump and working their muscles to absolute failure, then they went to the gym for nothing. They kind of leave the gym feeling like they did something productive and that they left doing what they were supposed to do, what they were supposed to accomplish. Now let's take a look at the cost versus benefit when training to failure. Now, if you lift a heavy deadlift, like you 1 rep max, it's a fight to the death, getting that bar up to the top. It's recommended that you take at least 10 days off before you go back and start over again with deadlifts. This is because your spinal erectors and your central nervous system has taken a beating, and it takes about 10 days for it to recover. And even then, it's recommended that you start small again and work your way back up. Otherwise, you're just never going to progress. You're always going to be in that fatigue, and you're never going to get back to where you need to get back to. So that's the cost of doing a 1 rep max with max weight. You end up having to take a lot of days off in order to recover, and then you have to start all over again. Versus if you're on a strength training program, it has a nice, easy build up to your top sets where you can keep lifting for longevity. And if you do lift a 1 rep max, it has a deload plan in there to make sure that you are at your top game when you do come back, so you don't have to take that full 10 days off. But even if you're doing this with super lightweight and you're bodybuilding to the point where you can't even lift 1 pound anymore on the dumbbells, or if you're doing bodyweight exercise, so you're doing push-ups, air squats, or pull-ups, and you're just absolutely blow your body out to the point where you can't even do 1 more push-up or 1 more air squat or 1 more pull-up. That's the same cost as lifting a 1 rep max where you struggle a lot, where you have to take all that time off in order for your body to adjust and to heal and to get back into the recalibration that needs to be in order to keep lifting like that again. But it's a very common trend right now where I see a lot of gym goers feel like I said before, they need to go to the gym and they need to feel like that they left it all there. If they didn't leave it all there and they go home and there's still some in the tank, they feel like something is wrong. But I have news for you. Training in a smart way within a strength training program, or training to the point where you still have some in the tank, actually will allow you to go to the gym a lot sooner, whether it's the next day or maybe every other day. But you'll continue to make progress in the gym and recover appropriately. And then when you do need to exhaust the muscles, or if you do need to lift a 1 rep max, then you'll be able to have that, and you'll actually be surprised how much you can do just by taking it easy and making sure that you have some left in the tank after every single workout. So my WILDMAN opinion here is I do not like to train to failure. I like to train within certain segments, certain rep schemes. And if I have some left over in the tank, that's perfect, because I'm going to need what's left over in that tank for the next workout. And that's what I recommend for all of you as well. Now, once I was done with the strength giant set, I moved on to the variation giant set, which is really just getting heavier with the stone and taking out the squats. So I'm starting off with the buffalo stone, which is a very rough stone, I must say. It actually jacks up my shoulder pretty bad every single time I lift this thing, even though it is only 156 pounds. But I'm gonna get it to my shoulder, put my arm out for balance, and I continued with that strength training format with the static bridge hold and flipping the tire as well, just to keep it all in the same numerical fashion. Then I moved on to the ox stone, and this is my best friend. It's a real bad stone. Sorry, that was my cheesy little quip there. But this stone also is pretty rough for being 192 pounds, and it is a heavier stone and a little bit harder to lift. But I'm moving up in the weight pretty appropriately, pretty safely, until I feel comfortable getting to my top set, which is the rhino stone, which is a 220 pound stone. But the benefit of this stone is the shape, and because it's smooth, makes it a little bit more enjoyable to lift than the other stones. And this went up pretty smooth, especially after all that work I did. This went up very, very smooth, so I was very pleased with that. Now for the assistance giant set, I was doing 3 rounds, and I was going to keep it the same weight the entire time with those very intimidating looking wagon wheels. They're actually only 45 pounds each, so they weigh as much as traditional weightlifting plates do. But because they look so big, and because I post this on Instagram, people don't really care about the 45 pound weights when I'm doing front squats. But when I do them with the same weight but with wagon wheels, everybody thinks it's cool, and I get a lot of likes. So that's why I'm doing it here, mainly because they're on the bar from the back squats. But I'm just doing 3 sets of 10 with front squats, just really trying to hammer those quads out and my core just to finish it off at the end. And then I did a static ab mat hold and replacing the bridge static hold. And then I quickly did a stone carry around the bullpen with an 84 pound stone. Then I moved on to the accessory giant set, which is 3 rounds, and I'm doing those supination curls to really finish off those biceps from all the intensive work I got on those stones and the tire. And hitchhikers for overall shoulder health and back health, one of my favorite exercises to do. And I also ended with flutter kicks to work my abs, but to also finish off my hips and legs as well. And that was the workout for the entire day. Alrighty, so that's going to conclude it for today's workout. Really appreciate everybody stopping by, and I hope that everybody learned something new. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.